Well, it might feel too early to start preparing for the arrival of the iconic Canada goose, but they are on their way back up. Joining us is WildNorth Executive Director Gienow. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Corey.
So, yeah, it's a sign of changing season. We're heading into spring. When do the geese come back to Edmonton?
Yeah, it might not feel like spring, but they are on their way, and we should be seeing the geese back over the next couple of weeks. So they're going to be here soon.
Okay, and Dale, do they tend to nest in the same place year after year?
They do. They're historical nesters, and so that means that, if you don't want them nesting in those spots, if you have a balcony that you don't want them on, or you have a business and they're nesting in front of your business or something like that, now is the time to put up those deterrents. Block those nesting areas, those garden boxes, those, shoo them away if they're on your deck, or on your porch or whatever, so that they don't establish those nests.
Okay, what if they do establish a nest and it's somewhere unwanted? What can we do?
Yeah, so they're federally protected birds. So once they've established their nest, there's really nothing you can do. You have to wait it out. It takes a month before the babies are going to hatch out. And then a couple of days after that, they're going to leave and make their way to water. So while they're on the nest, while they have those youngs, you want to give them their distance. Geese can be quite aggressive protectors of their nest and young.
Okay, and are they dangerous while they're nesting? Like, they're aggressive, but are they dangerous around their nests and their young?
Yeah, some people have sort of affectionately coined them as Canadian cobra chickens
Yes.
because of their behavior. They hiss and they've got those long necks. They put up a big demonstration. They're really not that dangerous to you and I, but they're very intimidating with a 6-foot wingspan. They're big birds, so best given the spaces they deserve. And these guys sometimes pick the worst places to nest. They're on rooftops.
Yes.
We have to do rooftop rescues, bringing those babies down to the ground and reuniting them with parents. We even had one last year nest in front of a drive-through of a Tim Hortons. Doesn't get much more Canadian than that. Canada geese in front of Tim Hortons.
Wow.
But we had to actually put some tape around it to keep people away from that nesting site.
Okay, maybe if we're a little bit unaware of where we're walking or down in somewhere like Horlack Park, and we find ourselves between a goose and their babies, what do we do?
Yeah, so typically it's going to be the gander, the male. They mate for life, these guys, who's going to become really aggressive and protective. So you want to give as much distance between you and that guy as you possibly can. Don't look at them, just ignore them, make a backward retreat, and you'll find they calm down pretty quickly. These guys are used to us being around this urban environment here in Edmonton. We have a lot of geese in the city, so they know that if you give them a distance, that they're going to feel safe and not be so aggressive.
Okay, and does WildNorth look after many injured and orphaned geese?
We do, yeah. We take in more than 200 orphan geese every year.
Wow.
Many, many babies. And many of those babies, though, fortunately, geese are great parents. We're sometimes able to take those orphaned babies and put them in with other families. And they're really good at adopting other geese, goslings. So that's wonderful. But yeah, we do get quite a few. So keep your eye open, especially once they've hatched in a month or so. And you're going to see, mom and dad leading those babies across the city to water.
How would we maybe know if one is orphaned?
So they stick with those parents. Those parents are great protectors. So if literally you see them on their own, if they're on a rooftop, let's say they're a couple of stories up, sometimes there's these little ledges and industrial rooftops that the babies can't get over to get down to the ground.
Okay.
So you want to keep your eye on those areas that maybe they can't follow mom or dad to water. So rooftops, keep your eye open. And if you just see them hanging out on themselves with no parents around, sure sign that they've been orphaned.
Perfect. Dale, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Of course, my pleasure.
For more information and resources, please visit wildnorth.ca.